Greetings YouTubers, and welcome back to another Todd E. Walnuts collection overview video. And today we're going to be paying tribute to the greatest actor, director of my lifetime, my favorite actor anyway, Clint Eastwood, who will be celebrating his 95th birthday tomorrow on Saturday, the 31st of May. So I wanted to go through and show you guys all of the movies that I have with Clint Eastwood starring or directing. And I have them subcategorized. So I started up here with the Blu-rays, and then we kind of jump into the Blu-rays with slipcovers, and then we get into 4K and some of the specialties like Steelbooks and digibooks. And we get into the DVDs and some box sets. And then we get into the VHS here. And at the very end, I will take you into another room and we'll look at some Laserdiscs, and we'll open up some of the box sets and give you a good detail of what's inside. So stick around, get yourselves relaxed, get a beverage and a snack, and let's celebrate Clint Eastwood's 95th birthday with a tribute to him with his movies. So I have a lot of really great memories of watching Clint Eastwood movies since I'm a kid with my dad, and I grew up watching a lot of these spaghetti westerns. Those were my dad's favorites. And as I got older, I continued watching him and buying his movies, and just really, really good stuff. So we're gonna get into it here. These are not alphabetized. Like I said, I just kind of popped these in little subcategories. So the first one here, these are Blu-rays that were not issued with slipcovers. And this is a double bill here of Dirty Harry and Magnum Force. The next one is The Enforcer and Sudden Impact. And then we have a 4-pack of all 4 of those movies I just mentioned, but you can get them here in 1 pack. I recently got these at a Dollar General that was going out of business, so I got these for like a couple bucks. I grabbed them. So getting into some of the Kino Lorber titles, these were the first releases of these movies. They did not come with slipcovers. And this is part of the Dollars trilogy. This is the first one, A Fistful of Dollars. And followed by For a Few Dollars More. And the third one, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. These are excellent movies. These are really worth the watch if you haven't seen these before. And even if you have, I've seen these movies many, many times. They're really fun to watch. And I have a couple of Twilight Time releases here of Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. And I don't remember why, but they re-released it. That was the first releasing of it. This was the MGM 90th anniversary, and then they re-released it, and I don't remember why. But I wanted to grab it, so I have both of them. And I'm going to pause it here for a minute, and then we're going to get into the Blu-rays with slipcovers. Okay, so we'll get into the Blu-rays with slipcovers, and the first one is called The Beguiled. And this was a different type of a role for Clint Eastwood. It's a good movie. I've only ever seen it once, and he plays kind of a womanizer who kind of, he plays mind games with women to kind of, I don't know, cause problems. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I couldn't really recommend this unless you're like a really big Eastwood fan, then you'd probably want to watch it, but I don't know if I'd watch that anytime soon again. I've only ever seen it once. The next one is called Coogan's Bluff. This is also a Kino Lorber movie. This one came out in 1968. "93 minutes running time. It also has Susan Clark, and Don Stroud is in here as well. And Lee J. Cobb makes an appearance in that movie. Here's one of his more recent movies. This is Cry Macho. People are saying this was his last Western, but I think his real, true last Western was Unforgiven. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. That was an amazing movie. This one is just quite not a cowboy movie. It's not a Western in the typical Eastwood sense. It's still a good movie. I like it. He still has his acting chops, that's for sure. And the next one is called The Iger Sanction. And this is a really beautifully shot movie. This actually does have a 4K upgrade, which I will be getting at some point. I don't have it yet. But this was kind of a take on the James Bond type of a character for Clint Eastwood. And he plays a collector of antiques, or what was it, books or something. He was an antique collector by day, and he was an assassin by night. The cool thing about this movie, besides the great cast, it had George Kennedy and Jack Cassidy. I think this was Jack Cassidy's last role before he passed away in that tragic fire. The cinematic views in this movie were unbelievable, and it's going to look great on 4K. But Clint Eastwood did all of his own stunts in this movie. Some very dangerous stunts, by the way, and he performed all of his own stunts. And I think during the filming of this movie, if I remember right, there was a young British climber who perished during the filming of this movie. It was really dangerous, but Clint nailed it, and he did all of his own stunts. I always remembered that. I thought it was great. And that movie is beautiful. Next one is from Shout Select. This one's called Hang 'em High. This was one of his earlier Westerns. This was not a spaghetti Western, though. This one came out in 1968. Eastwood is judge, jury, and executioner. This was a good movie. I really enjoy Hang 'em High. And then we have Joe Kidd. See him standing there with his shotgun and a glass of beer. Directed by John Sturgis. Clint was just born to be a cowboy. I mean, he looks the role. Tall, lean, has that cowboy hat. This one's from 1972, 88 minutes running time. And here is the Man with No Name trilogy, also known as the Dollars trilogy. So you get a fistful of dollars for a few dollars more, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is just the Blu-ray box set. They're calling it the Sergio Leone collection. I really love those movies. Now this one I just rewatched recently, Play Misty for Me. The last time I had watched this one was on VHS years ago. I belonged to a Clint Eastwood VHS club. I think it was either BMG or Columbia, back when they had VHS tapes that you can order through the mail. And they had a Clint Eastwood collection, and I think it was like once a month they would send you a Clint Eastwood movie in the mail. And that was the first time I had ever seen this movie, and it was really good. It's very suspenseful. Clint Eastwood plays a DJ over the radio. He's kind of a night talker, and he has an obsessed fan, and she calls him up, and she has kind of a seductive voice, and he kind of falls for her a little bit, and she starts to get more crazy and more crazy, and really, really good movie. I recommend that. Play Misty for Me. That was her request when she would call in with her silky smooth voice. Play Misty for Me, and he fell for it. This one I just recently got in the mail. I bought this used off of eBay, so I haven't watched it yet. It's called Trouble with the Curve. And this one has Justin Timberlake in it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm a big fan of Timberlake. And you can see John Goodman. I'm looking forward to checking this out. I haven't watched it yet, though. It's in pretty good shape. And from what I understand, the slipcover is a little bit harder to find these days. So I'm going to pause it here now, and we're going to get into the 4K movies. Okay, so Moving right along into the 4K, I have Dirty Harry. Excellent movie. Everybody knows about Harry Callahan, San Francisco cop who plays by his own rules. He always gets the job done. It's not always the prettiest, but he gets it done. Excellent series. I would love to see that whole series on 4K in a box set. This one I just recently rewatched again, about a couple weeks ago. This is Escape from Alcatraz, based on the true story of Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers. And in this movie, Eastwood plays Frank Morris, and they escape from the island prison, Alcatraz. It's really good. I really enjoy that movie. It looks great on 4K too. And then we have the Dollars trilogy again on 4K. So we have A Fistful of Dollars, and that was the original theatrical poster right there. I'm not the biggest fan of that poster, but it is the original. So, and then we have For a Few Dollars More. That poster is much better. Excellent series, great characters, great actors in this series. And for the finale is the good, the bad, and the ugly. The thing I like about Eastwood, I mean, not only is he a great actor and a great director, but he always made sure to pay homage to the people who, you know, Don Siegel was a big influence on him, Sergio Leone, and he always remembered that and he always thanked them. And he used a lot of what they taught him and brought it to his own movies. Here's one called High Plains Drifter. (1973). This is the one where Clint Eastwood plays kind of a bad guy. He's played kind of an evil character. He's not the hero in this one. It's a really, really good movie though. Here's a nice set. Kind of, I think it was along a river or something. Wasn't they had a town that was built by a lake or something. It just had a really good setting for the town. Here's one of his more recent movies. This one's called The Mule. This is on 4K. It's inspired by a true story. I started to watch this one the other night and I fell asleep. I was just really tired. I've been working a lot lately, and I'm gonna give this one another go here really soon, but I'm looking forward to that one. And here is my favorite Clint Eastwood movie of all time, and it's just because I have a lot of memories watching this one with my dad. And I remember just being a little guy and my dad kind of reciting the one-liners that Clint would say in the movies when I was little, and that had an influence on me, and I started to kind of pick up on that, and I recite the lines myself now to this day, and this is just an excellent movie. It's a feel-good movie, I think. It's very well done. He directed it, and he starred in it as Josie Wales, and just a magnificent movie. I really love it. I recommend that one to anybody. And then they did something which I didn't think was gonna work. I didn't think I was gonna like this. This is called Paint Your Wagon. It has an outstanding cast. You have Lee Marvin and Clint Eastwood, two of the best tough guys ever. And then you have Gene Seberg, who was a doll. This is a musical, a Western musical, and when I first heard about this, I was like, nah, that's not gonna work, but it's actually a pretty fun movie. It's kind of a feel-good movie to me. I put that up there with, so if you're having kind of a rough day or a rough week or something, you're a little bit down, you can put this on and watch it and you'll feel better. I have the same feeling with Singing in the Rain with Gene Kelly. I get the same feeling with that kind of a musical. It picks me up, and it's similar to this one. This is actually a very fun movie, Paint Your Wagon. And then we have Pale Rider. This one came out in 1985. This is a fun movie. He plays preacher. Let me see who else was in here. It doesn't have the cast on the back. I think Sean Penn's brother was in here, and he had a great role. I think it was one of his last roles before he passed. Chris Penn, I think his name was. He died at a very young age from, I believe it was a drug overdose, if I remember correctly. But he had a good future ahead of him, and he flamed out, man. Here's Thunderbolt and Lightfoot again. This time it's a 4K upgrade. Clint Eastwood and Jeff Bridges. George Kennedy's in this one as well. It's a pretty fun movie. I think, if I remember, Clint Eastwood was a thief, and he was kind of a retired thief, but he came back for one more heist. And they were gonna make a big score. And this one was really good too. This is Two Mules for Sister Sarah, Don Siegel. They did a lot of work together. And Don Siegel did the Dirty Harry movies as well. I know Clint had a lot of respect for Don Siegel. Shirley MacLaine played a great role in this movie too. This is a really fun watch. This one came out in 1970. Clint Eastwood is kind of getting payback for things that were done to the nun. Shirley MacLaine played a nun in that movie. Now this movie is one of the best westerns ever, and this was the first Academy Award that Clint won. He actually won 2 in this movie for Best Picture and Best Director. He missed out on the trifecta, which would have been the Best Actor. That year it was Pacino, A Scent of a Woman. Pacino won that year, but Eastwood could have easily won. But I think it should have gone to Pacino, in my opinion. But if Eastwood would have won it, he would have had the trifecta: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor. But he didn't, and he got 2. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. This was an excellent movie. If you haven't seen this one, I'm not going to give anything away. The ending is the ending's kind of sad. I'm not going to give anything more than that. There's a great cast. You got Hackman, you got Morgan Freeman, and Richard Harris played English Bob. What a great cast. Excellent, excellent movie. So I'm going to pause it here, and we're going to get into the Steelbooks and digibooks, and we'll keep rolling. So the first Steelbook is Dirty Harry. Again, this is probably it's hard to say. There's so many good Eastwood movies. This is definitely top 5. It's up there with Josie Wales. It's up there with the Dollars trilogy. It's up there with Unforgiven. Any one of those movies could be number 1 for me. That's how good they are. And then we have kind of a more modern Eastwood movie. This one's called Gran Torino. This is the Steelbook. Another great movie. Kind of a sad movie. I'm sure many of you have seen that one. And here again is my favorite, just because of, like I said, watching it with my dad when I was a kid. Outlaw Josie Wales. And Pale Rider Steelbook. And then we get into the digibooks. There's 3 of those. I have Dirty Harry. This was part of the 85th anniversary for Warner Brothers. And the Outlaw Josie Wales. I think this was part of the 85th Warner Brothers too. And Unforgiven. What a movie. 4 Academy Awards. Could have possibly got the Best Actor for that. if it wasn't for Pacino's great role in Scent of a Woman. And then I recently got this, I don't know, a month ago maybe, something like that, from Arrow Video. This is a Fistful of Dollars. If you're interested in seeing more of that, I did an unboxing of this. You can go back and check that out. I also did pre-order the other ones, and for a few dollars more is in the mail right now. I did a track on it. I got the tracking number from Arrow, and it's sitting in Queens, New York right now, so I won't have it for this video, unfortunately. They say I'll be getting it next Monday, and when I do get it, I'll do an unboxing. But for now, I just have that one from Arrow, but I do have all three pre-ordered, so looking forward to getting those. So I'm gonna pause it here again, and we're gonna start to get into the DVDs, and then we'll get into the box sets, and then we'll get into the VHS. Okay, so we have the Dollars Trilogy on DVD. It looks like these are out of order, so let me just do a quick little switcheroony right here. We have Fistful of Dollars, which is the first one in the trilogy. We have For a Few Dollars More. And we have probably the best of the three, although they're all really excellent. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. These are all really, really good movies. And we have Hang 'em High. Here is a Clint Eastwood documentary from the Biography channel. This was an A&E award-winning documentary about Clint Eastwood. I think it's like 45 minutes long. Let me see. No, 100 minutes long. It kind of encompasses his whole career. So there's black and white footage as well as color footage. It's a feature-length investigation into the remarkable life of Clint Eastwood. And then they had, these were the deluxe edition DVDs. Now these are out of order too. That's all right, you guys know what order they're supposed to be in. But these were the ones that came with the slipcover. Hold on a second, I'm gonna pause it, pull them out of the bag, and show you what the slipcovers look like. These are pretty cool. So here's what the slipcover looks like. It's a clear slip, but it has kind of a broken glass bullet hole in it. It's really cool. There's actually a hole that goes in it. And the deluxe edition of the DVD is a 2-disc. And I just thought these were really, really cool. They're getting harder to find now, but this was part of the 85th anniversary. You can see the sticker there. 85 years of Warner Brothers. We'd see how that kind of lines up with his gun. And they each have one. I'll show you the other ones here in a minute. I just wanted to pull that out and show you guys. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so I got these back in order too. So we had Dirty Harry, Magnum Force. You can see how his gun's coming through the hole on that one. The Enforcer. Sudden Impact. And the Deadpool for the 5th and last one. Although some people say that Bloodwork is kind of the unofficial part 6, but I don't really see it that way. Bloodwork is a great movie, but it's not a Dirty Harry movie. So here is one called the Clint Eastwood triple feature. You get Space Cowboys, The Gauntlet, and Every Which Way But Loose. I think this is a 3-disc set, if I remember. It's pretty heavy. Or maybe 2. One of them might be a flipper, I'm not sure, but it's definitely more than 1 disc. And we have Hang 'em High. Again, I have this movie a couple times. And there was a box set here called the Clint Eastwood Western Icon Collection. You get High Plains Drifter, Joe Kidd and 2 mules for Sister Sarah. They're calling this the franchise collection. And I used to have a bunch of these Clint Eastwood snapper cases. I'm not the biggest fan of snapper cases. I try to avoid them, but I do have this one, Heartbreak Ridge. I do have some other ones too in this collection, but I try not to get the snapper cases. I don't like them. And then here was a Dirty Harry Deluxe Edition that didn't have the, let me see, it's a little bit different. It's a deluxe edition, but it didn't have the clear slipcover with the glass that was breaking. So I think this one on the left, these are a little more rare. They're harder to find, that slipcover. They're not impossible to find, they're just getting a little bit harder to find. And this one I had before I had the other ones. So that one goes back here. And then I have a couple of box sets here. This is the DVD box set for the Ultimate Dirty Harry Collector's Edition. This is still sealed because I recently just bought this for $20. That was a steal. Still sealed for 20 bucks. I had to grab it just as a collector. I already had the Blu-ray, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause it here. We're gonna take this in the other room and we're gonna go through it. This is a little bit beat up. I bought it used years ago. I may upgrade this and just get a better copy at some point, but let's go check this out in the other room. Here's what the box looks like. This is a really nice set. Do you feel lucky, punk? Yeah, this is legit. Even though it's a little bit dinged up, I'm definitely gonna get this upgraded. But this has been viewed so many times. I got my money's worth out of this and then some. But there's the movies. You got Dirty Harry, then you got Magnum Force. Comes in these. Oops, that's not good. Flipping the disc out, but you get these kind of digipack holders for the movies. And then you got the other 3, the Enforcer, Sudden Impact, and the Deadpool. One of the greatest characters in film history, Dirty Harry Callahan. And then you get this little hardcover book. There's the Golden Gate Bridge. Some stuff here about the movie. It's a really nice set, nice glossy, thick pages. It talks a little bit about the characters and some stills and all good stuff. And you get, let's see if I can pull this out with one hand. You get a little replica badge. Let me pause it really quick. So this is kind of like a little fake leather wallet, and then you can see that it's kind of a little bit worn out, but it's Inspector Police badge number 2211, and then you have Harry Callahan. It says badge number. Then you get some art cards and a little personal message from Eastwood, and there's a poster of the city of San Francisco, and they're tracking the killer, the Scorpio killer. They're using the map, and they're realizing that they're trying to head him off where they think he's going to hit next. So it's really, really cool. I'm sure most of you, maybe all of you who are watching this have seen this movie, but if you haven't, you definitely should check out Dirty Harry. It's a great movie. So I'm gonna pause it, put this stuff away, and we'll continue on the shelf. So that was the Blu-ray box set that we just went through, and everything that comes in the Blu-ray set is exactly the same in the DVD set. So I keep that one sealed. That's a deal for me for 20 bucks. The next one is called the Man with No Name Trilogy. And again, you get the 3 biggies. fistful of dollars for a few dollars more. And the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I have a box set called the Clint Eastwood Westerners. These are snapper case movies. You get Pale Rider, Unforgiven, and The Outlaw Josie Wales. What a box set. This is an amazing box set. It's right up there with the Man with No Name. Both of these are excellent. 10 out of 10 for both of these. And I have this is where Clint got his start, from a TV show in the 60s called Rawhide. And this is the first 3 seasons. Eventually I will get the entire series, but you get 84 episodes here on 23 discs. Yep, that's where he got his start. And we have another box set. We're going to go in the other room. This is a British box set called the Clint Eastwood 8-movie collection. 8-movie collection. So in this set you get Coogan's Bluff, Two Mules for Sister Sarah, The Beguiled, Play Misty for Me, Joe Kidd, High Plains Drifter, Breezy. Breezy's a movie I have never seen before, and the Iger Sanction. So here's what the box looks like. It's another really nice, sturdy, heavy-duty, high-quality box. You can see the specs here on the bottom. Upside down, here we go. If you want to pause it and read it, if that means anything to you. Some of you, I'm sure it does. It comes with this nice little lid that was on the top. A really nice looking set. And then the movies. You get Coogan's Bluff, Two Mules for Sister Sarah. This is a really nice looking set. The Beguiled. This is the weirdest Clint Eastwood movie to me. Play Misty for Me. Joe Kidd. So many great movies. High Plains Drifter. This is where he plays kind of a villain. And this is one I haven't seen before. I should check this out. It's called Breezy. I really don't even know what this is about. I think this was a Clint Eastwood directed movie. I don't know if he stars in it. I think that's probably why I haven't seen it before. Yes, it was directed by Clint. Let me see if I can find a year. 1973. It says Breezy. Kay Lenz, a young footloose hitchhiker escaping from a lecherous driver, takes refuge in the car of Frank Harmon, played by William Holden. 2 great actors, by the way, Kay Lenz and William Holden. He's a divorced, middle-aged real estate agent. And these 2 very different people don't see eye to eye when they come across an injured dog. But somehow he and Breezy come to forge an unusual relationship against all conventional expectations. So it sounds like kind of a love story type thing. And there's nothing wrong with those kind of movies. They're just not my cup of tea. And that's probably why I haven't seen it. But I probably will watch this just to watch it. And the last one from this box set is the Iger Sanction. Again, this movie is amazing. The cinematography, the mountain scenes. I think some of this was filmed in the Swiss Alps. Yes. And some of it was filmed in California. It was just an amazing movie. I'm looking forward to watching it on 4K. I don't have it yet on 4K though. So that is the Clint Eastwood 8-movie collection. I don't remember where I got this. It's been many years since I picked it up, but it's a cool set. I recommend it. So now we drop down one shelf to the VHS, and I have these kind of organized by series. So the first one is the Dirty Harry series, and we have Dirty Harry. This was the first release of Dirty Harry, and then they re-released it. It looks just a little bit different. I think this one was from 1990 this one was released. So that's not the very first releasing of it, but it's an earlier release than this one, which I think came out a couple years later, 92, I believe. And then this one came out even later. This was part of a Clint Eastwood collection set. And then we get into Magnum Force, which is part 2 of the Dirty Harry franchise. And this was a kind of a later release of the same movie. And then part 3 is The Enforcer. Part 4 was Sudden Impact. And the last one, The Deadpool. This one came out in the 80s, 1988. And this VHS tape came out in 1997. And then this one came out in 2000. Same movie. So now we get into the Westerns. Give myself a little room here. So we have A Fistful of Dollars. And this was a second releasing of it. And we have For a Few Dollars More. And a second release of it. And The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It was a double tape. The movie's so long they had to put it on 2 VHS tapes. And then we have The Outlaw Josie Wales. Check out some of these hype stickers. You got Clint, directs Clint. This was purchased at a store called Long's. If you can see that, if it will focus. At one point it was $12.99. That's a great cover. And this was another release of it. I like this cover even more. I think that's great. Let's see, when did this release come out? $1990 for this one. And for this one, it was $1996. And we have Two Mules for Sister Sarah. High Plains Drifter. Hang 'em High. And Pale Rider, another great movie, 1985. So we got the next shelf here. So these I have kind of categorized as his action movies. So the first one is Escape from Alcatraz. And The Rookie with Charlie Sheen, another great actor. I really love Charlie Sheen's movies, and his television shows were great too. And we have Where Eagles Dare with Richard Burton. Great movie. And Bronco Billy, kind of a rodeo star in that movie. The Gauntlet. He did a lot of movies with they were never married, Sandra Locke, but they were, I guess, common law married. I'm not sure if they have that in California or not. They were together for a long, long time, but they were never really officially married. Here's Tightrope. This is a chasing a serial killer type movie. I have this on Blu-ray too. I just couldn't find it for this video, but I do have this on Blu-ray. This is a really good movie. Clint Eastwood is chasing a serial killer. They all did it back in the 80s. Charles Bronson did it. Chuck Norris did it. Eastwood did it. Great movie though. And here's Play Misty for Me. Here he teamed up with Burt Reynolds. This is more of a comedy than action, but it has both. There's comedic elements and there's action in the movie. It's not the kind of duo you would expect to see. They're totally different types of personalities, but it worked. And there's nothing wrong with either of them. I mean, Clint Eastwood is more of a tall and silent type guy, and Burt Reynolds is more of a rugged, kind of in-your-face type of a tough guy, but they're both excellent actors. I love both of those actors. They're both great. And then I have Paint Your Wagon. This is a 2-tape set. And I have another one here, different cover, same movie. I'm glad I gave that a shot, because if I would have went with my gut and, you know, I thought it was stupid, you know, I thought the premise of it sounded terrible, I'm glad that I didn't trust my gut, because I thought that was a fun movie. And we have Any Which Way You Can. I still have to get Any Which Way But Loose, but I have 2 of this one, Any Which Way You Can. Those are, so we're kind of getting into the comedy here now, or just kind of like the miscellaneous, because this one's not comedy, but it's kind of a drama. He's got his young son, Kyle Eastwood, is in here. He's got a bunch of kids. I think he has like 9 kids. Here's a movie I still have yet to see. I'm ashamed to say it, The Bridges of Madison County, but it's, again, there's nothing wrong with romance or stuff like that. It's just not my immediate go-to, so that's why I haven't watched it. I have a to-watch pile that's a mile long, and there's no chance that's going to get in there anytime soon, but I do want to see that though at some point. We have a 3-disc or a 3-tape set here. This is called Eastwood Special Collector's Edition. You get The Outlaw Josie Wales, Pale Rider, and Unforgiven. Again, these 3 movies are amazing. And then we have a 6-tape set here. This is called the Clint Eastwood Collection, and you get The Beguiled, In the Line of Fire. That's another one I need to get on 4K. It is available on 4K. I don't have it though. In the Line of Fire, that's a great movie. Bronco Billy, The Outlaw Josie Wales, Unforgiven, and Dirty Harry. What a box set. That's pretty awesome. And this last little bit down here, and then we're gonna go in my bedroom and we'll finish up in there, but I have a couple of clamshells here on VHS. Let's see, I'll give myself a little room here. We have the original Dirty Harry release. This one was released, let me see, 1981. So this is the OG, the original first Dirty Harry VHS tape. And I have Sudden Impact, which is like the 3rd one. This one came out on VHS 1983. I don't know if they all were released in clams. I'm assuming they were, but they're getting harder to find, especially in good condition. Here's the Outlaw Josie Wales clamshell. This one came out in 1981. And yes, Sandra Locke is in the Outlaw Josie Wales too. She's in a lot of his movies. And then here's a kind of a smaller clamshell with the harder black plastic case. Special edition. You get a bonus collector's card inside, but this is still sealed. And let me see if I can find 1999 this was released. So I'm gonna pause it here. We're gonna go in the other room and we're gonna finish up in there. So I have some Laserdiscs, and the first one here is a Fistful of Dollars. I think this looks great. This is really cool. I have these in plastic sleeves, but I'm gonna take the next one out and we'll go through what it looks like on the inside. This one is just a regular single disc with a regular slip or sleeve here. But the next one has a gatefold, and that's why I'm going to take it out and show you. But this one came out in 1985. So the next one is part 2 for a few dollars more. Really excellent cover. And this is a 2-disc set. You get 1 disc here. There's the gatefold. And I almost forgot to include the girls tonight. I know some of you guys like to see them. So there they are, Miss Heidi and Miss Hannah. We hope you guys are having a great night and hope you have a great weekend. And here are some more characters from the movies. And then here's the second disc. And then the third and final, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This should have been a gatefold, but they didn't do it. They have 2 discs, and they're both, see if you can see it in there, they're both housed inside a plastic sleeve. Oh, Blondie, what a great series. When not in use, place video disc in jacket and store in a cool, dry place. It doesn't get any cooler than the Walnuts compound, so. And I have the Dirty Harry Laserdisc. It's a great cover. I think they could have done something a little bit different, but I mean, that's Clint Eastwood, man. You gotta have him on the cover. But they should have had him in that pose, like this pose right there, which we will be getting to here momentarily, but who's we, sucker? Smith and Wesson and me. Great, great movie. And then here is a record album from the movie Unforgiven. This was a Barnes & Noble exclusive. And this includes a track that was composed by Clint Eastwood himself called Claudia's Theme. And I remember the first time I saw this movie, I saw it at a drive-in with a girl I was dating at the time. And her eyes were like the stars. Not because they were beautiful and glistening, but because they were so far apart. It didn't work out because she was always yelling at me. There's Richard Harris, played English Bob. I don't like being yelled at. She was always yelling at me, telling me I wasn't listening to her. But in my defense, I didn't know she was talking to me. She wasn't looking at me. But what a great movie. It's sad. Even though you know what's coming, it's still sad every time I've seen this movie. And Morgan Freeman gives a great performance. And I have a couple of these video discs. I have Dirty Harry. Never owned a video disc player. Basically, they're just glorified laser discs. There's a laser disc inside this, I guess you call it like a plastic protector or cassette thing. I'm not sure what you would call this thing, but there's a laser disc inside of there. And I think you were supposed to just slide this whole thing into a player and it would read the disc somehow inside. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, you can comment below. I just bought these as a collectible because I think they're very displayable. I think that looks great to me. But yeah, other than that, I don't know much about these, but there's the cast and crew here. And I bought this one at a Goodwill probably 5 or 6 years ago. It was in pretty good, I think I paid $1/4 for this. This one is Escape from Alcatraz. He plays Frank Morris, who escapes with the Anglin brothers. So I'm gonna pause it here. We're gonna go through this box set. This is the 35 films in 35 years, Clint Eastwood. Then I have a couple of figures to show you. I have some posters to show you, and we're gonna close the video out. So I remember when this box set first came out, it was ridiculously expensive. And this is the DVD box set. And it came in this clear slip box that goes over the top of it. And it's housed in like this giant, kind of like a digibook packaging. You can see some of the characters over his career. And the way that they housed the discs, to me, was pretty terrible, because they have them in these cardboard paper sleeves here. Let's see if we can take a look. And each of the discs are flipper discs. And as you know, DVDs scratch very, very easily. They don't have that protective coating on them like the Blu-rays do in 4K. So a lot of these I'm sure are damaged by now. Not mine, I just mean in general, a lot of people who bought this and have been viewing them over the years probably have tons of scratches. So in this set, you get 35 movies, and you get Dirty Harry, Magnum Force, The Enforcer, and The Gauntlet. That's another one I need to pick up. I don't own that movie yet, The Gauntlet. I think it has I'm pretty sure it has a Blu-ray release. It may only be on DVD. And then you have Sudden Impact, if we can focus here. Tightrope, The Deadpool, The Rookie, Where Eagles Dare, Kelly's Heroes, I don't have that one either. Firefox, well, I mean, I have it in this set, but I don't have it in an individual release. Heartbreak Ridge, Absolute Power. I believe this is the one where he tries to prove an inmate in prison. I think the inmate in prison was charged with killing somebody, and he's going to go to the death row, going to go to the gas chamber. And I believe it's been a long time since I've seen this, but I think Eastwood is trying to free him, not free him, but to prove him innocent. I think it was based on a true story. And then we have True Crime, Space Cowboys, and Bloodwork. That's the one I was talking about earlier, where some people kind of consider that the 6th unofficial Dirty Harry movie. I don't see it personally. It's a great movie. It's just different. It's its own entity. It's not a Dirty Harry movie. If you go in thinking it's going to be a Dirty Harry movie, you're going to be disappointed. But if you just go into it, you know, looking for a good movie, then you'll find that. Here we have Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can. And we have Bronco Billy and Honky Tonk Man. City Heat, Pink Cadillac, A Perfect World. I haven't seen that one yet either. Bridges in Madison County. I haven't seen that one. Outlaw Josie Wales, Pale Rider, and Unforgiven. Bird, that's based on a true story. The jazz musician, Charlie, what was his name? Hold on one second. Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker was nicknamed the Bird, and that's what this movie is about. I do own this one as well. I just didn't pull it out for this video. White Hunter, Black Heart, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, Mystic River. I have this one as well. I didn't pull it out. This is a great movie. This was directed by Eastwood. He's not in the movie, but that is a very powerful movie. It's creepy. I recommend watching that if you haven't seen it before. There's a murder. I don't want to give too much of it away. There's a twist ending in that movie. It's phenomenal. So we have $1 Million Baby, and this is where Clint Eastwood got his 3rd and 4th Academy Award for the same thing. He was Best Picture and Best Director. So he has 4 Academy Awards under his belt, which he probably should have way more than that. But 4 is nothing to sneeze at. That's a very impressive career. And we have Letters from Iwo Jima and Gran Torino. And there's a documentary called The Eastwood Factor, which I still haven't seen that yet. Definitely going to put some time aside and watch that. And you can just see what a career this guy had. All the memories that I have. I feel lucky. Punk. So this portion of the video, we're going to look at some theatrical posters. These are 27 by 40. And this is the French poster for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is the Italian poster for A Few Dollars More. This is another movie I remember watching with my dad, and Clint Eastwood is a bounty hunter in this movie. And at the end of the movie, he has a horse-drawn cart that you can see here in this poster, full of outlaws that he gunned down. And at the very end of the movie, he was counting them because he was counting his money. And I remember my dad laughing, thinking that was funny. He was going through counting all these dead bodies, trying to add up and see how much money he was going to get. Here's the outlaw Josie Wales. I know you can read. It's a beautiful poster. Really glad to have that. I don't know if you guys can hear that thunder in the background, but we got a little storm brewing here again in the great state of Wisconsin. And here's Pale Rider. And I have a couple more I'm going to show you in the other room that I have hanging. I switch them out. But that's a great poster, great movie. This one is Dirty Harry, 27 by 40 theatrical poster. Here's the Italian poster for A Fistful of Dollars. Here's the Italian poster for A Few Dollars More. And here is the Italian poster for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And the last stop for the Clint Eastwood tour. It's a little bit dusty over here, so I apologize for that. But I have a Dirty Harry 12-inch figure from Red Man Toys. And I have Clint Eastwood's character from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Also from Red Man Toys. These things were kind of expensive when they first came out, but now they've tripled in price. I can't believe how much these things are going for. But here's what the boxes looked like. So this is the 1/6 scale, which is 12 inches, Dirty Harry. This one also came with some other accessories, such as a walkie-talkie, I think, if I remember. Let's see. There's a couple different hands that you can switch out. There's a little clip with his rounds in it. There's what else do we have? It's kind of a leather holster that he can put under his jacket for his gun. He's got his little, let's see if we can look at that. He's got his leather wallet with his ID. And there's a couple different hands that you can put in there. And this one was just simply called The Good from Red Man Toys. And these are kind of dusty too. So, but that's gonna do it for my Clint Eastwood collection. I'm gonna have a slide here at the end of just some of my favorite characters from his movies. And this is kind of my tribute to Clint Eastwood for all of the years of entertainment that he's provided us, all the memories, all the movies that will live on long after we're all gone. And just what an amazing career, what a great actor, great director. So thank you guys for watching. I hope I was able to give you some ideas of maybe some movies you can check out or add to your collection. If you want to comment below, let me know your favorite Clint Eastwood movies. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.